Oh, they're at it again. Democrats and the activist base, a few Republicans, are working overtime to do an end run around the Constitution. In order to do what? Well, to wrestle power away from middle America. Now, many of them have been frustrated in their efforts to stop Trump through investigations and threats of impeachment. And so some are now pursuing other ways to ensure that he and anyone like him doesn't get elected again. Enter the push to abandon the Electoral College.
The Electoral College needs to go because it's made our society less and less democratic.
There's no question that the popular vote has been diminished in terms of making the final decision about who's the president of the United States, and we need to deal with that.
If we got rid of the Electoral College, we get a little bit closer to one person, one vote for democracy. It is warped. The word used earlier was captured. It is corrupted right now.
Well, to be fair, Beto does have some experience with the whole warped thing. Well, seriously, the founders designed the Electoral College as part of the overall system of checks and balances, so that all 50 states, not just the most populous ones, have a meaningful say in electing the president. Alexander Hamilton, one of our faves, Federalist Paper number 68, he wrote, "The electors chosen in each state are to assemble and vote in the state in which they are chosen. This detached and divided situation will expose them to much less to heats and ferments than if they were to all be convened at one time in one place. Nothing was more to be desired than that every practicable obstacle should be opposed to cabal, intrigue, and corruption." Interesting. Well, that could be the definition of, I don't know, today's deep state. Cabal, intrigue, and corruption. Just tripped off my tongue. Well, now largely funded by powerful globalists, including a George Soros-affiliated group, dispensing with the Electoral College has become a priority to most of the 2020 Democrats, as you saw. Now, without the Electoral College, think about it. Those candidates could spend most of their time campaigning in just a handful of states, like California, New York, Texas, Florida, and Illinois, popping in and out of their biggest cities. The same places, by the way, where they raise all of their money. Now, there was a time when Democrats believed in running in rural states rather than just seeking to disenfranchise them. RFK campaigned in Appalachia. FDR visited the Dust Bowl. They believed in a system that required candidates to appeal to a broader segment of America, one that includes rural areas, the Midwest, the Deep South, states like New Mexico, and even New England. And by the way, don't be fooled for a millisecond by this argument.
My view is that every vote matters. And the way we can make that happen is that we can have national voting, and that means get rid of the Electoral College.
Gosh, she really thinks we're stupid. We almost fell for the DNA test, but we didn't. Now, California has a population of 40 million people. West Virginia has about 2 million. So how would that state have any meaningful say in this new system? Without the Electoral College, we'll essentially be living in something akin to a tyranny disguised as a democracy, with a handful of liberal states making all the decisions for the rest of us. For instance, California, with its super Democrat majority, believes in sanctuary cities, of course, pot legalization, taxes, regulating anything that moves. And their values and concerns, it's a beautiful state, but those values and concerns often don't match up with those of other states, like South Carolina, Indiana, Georgia. In fact, those values are often diametrically opposed, and that's okay. That's how the framers envisioned it. And that's why the Electoral College provides a necessary balance. While on occasion there is a candidate with the most votes doesn't win, but in those cases, it's usually because that candidate only appealed to a slice of America, not a broader coalition. Remember the electoral map that showed how counties voted in 2016? Wow, it's like a big red ink spot. Well, people often refer to the United States, don't they, as a democracy? But we're not. We're a republic. The founders made a very smart decision not to establish America as a pure democracy because they feared the mob mentality and what James Madison called the tyranny of the majority. Now, given modern media, boy, they were prescient. It's also important to know who is behind this effort to do away the Electoral College. And it's not a new idea, but it has been renewed and, I think, invigorated since Hillary lost. Does the name David Boies mean anything to you? Well, he not only successfully argued the gay marriage case at the Supreme Court, he represented Al Gore in the 2000 recount. He's now arguing the cases against the Electoral College in Massachusetts, California, South Carolina, and Texas. Who's funding the litigation? Well, a bunch of big law firms. They don't do stuff for free. I used to work for one. Now, probably the same folks also who helped gin up the faux outrage about statues that have been standing in public squares for decades. I bet they have a hand in this. And the same folks who are spending millions on local and state campaigns in Arizona and Florida for Secretary of State, state judges, and city school board officers. They are really into this. They're really agitated to keep Trump out. No re-election for him. The left means business. Now, they've already tried to silence and demonize traditionalists in business, on college campuses, in the public square, and in the social media. If the left believes it has to upend the entire constitutional structure to quash the influence of flyover country, whether it's from court packing or lowering the voting age or axing the Electoral College, they'll do it. And it's up to smart constitutionalists to make the case for the rights of the threatened minority in Middle America. Small town USA is every bit as American as New York and LA. And they should have a say in our government. And that's the angle.